medo meni gimone bi mondo ang'wen nitie ne Tom kende manoneno koro wali wakati nisini if we wanted some privacy and security for them. They're a bit aged now, you know, but with the other family members, so can come up easy. Maybe be able to not only the dog being con. So really Marcella, not so. So I'm saying this is the Tom's family homestead. By the time of Tom's death, he was only 39. And that would mean he was still a resident within the family homestead. Tom's father was a polygamist who had 5 wives. We actually still have 4 of them living. We only lost Tom's mother. Actually, both Tom's parents died like 18 years after Tom's death. I said this wall is a bit recent. We decided to have it to give some privacy and security for the family. And that is because the remaining Tom's stepmother are a bit aged, and we needed some privacy for them. Now the mausoleum has been here for the last 54 and some months years, and this was a contribution and a donation from most of Tom's friends, most of from the US and the family. If you're keen at the mausoleum right from the base to the tip, this takes a bullet shape just to tell the kind of death that Tom had faced. We both know Tom died a political death, and this was actually a succession battle. It is clear, or it is said that in 1968, Kenyatta had suffered a stroke and heart attack. So he seated his cabinets and hinted to them that by his health and age, he would not continue being our president. He actually wanted that among the cabinet, they would choose somebody to be backed by him to become his successor. But it was unfortunate because same time there was actually a division in the ruling party, KANU, until there were like 2 KANUs, KANU A and KANU B. So because of this, they could not agree on a name. Later, Kenyatta decided to leave it open that whoever would convince the electorate would actually become his successor. So going by what Tom had done to the nation and beyond, he actually stood a better chance. He was seen as the obvious successor. Then the succession battle erupted, and this would pit him against some powerful critical ministers, those who had surrounded Kenyatta. So because of Tom's high profile and illustrious career, he actually posed a threat to the cabinet colleagues. So they started looking into ways and means on how they would bar him from contesting. There was a time they had tried to sneak an amendment so that they would raise age. They had wanted that for you to fight for presidency, you must at least have 42 years and above. Tom was only 39 and actually was below 40. And that would be the easiest way of blocking him from contest. So Tom, being a schemer par excellence, he would actually raise numbers in the parliament to beat the amendment. So the only option was now to hatch and plot for this assassination. So this followed by a series of political assassination attempts. But then the one that worked was through a very close friend of him, Isaac Nation Jenga Joroge. Him and Jenga had both worked for KANU. Actually, when Tom was the KANU Secretary General, Jenga was the KANU youth leader. Tom is the one who secured him a job in the military. Jenga later became a sniper, so Tom decided to have him as the head of his security details. By the time he was gunning Tom down, actually Tom had organized a trip for a few of the KANU youth wingers to be trained as police reservists in Bulgaria. Jenga actually led the delegation, being a very close friend of Tom. So he was actually given a special military training as a sharpshooter. So when they returned from Bulgaria, Jenga would be approached by Tom's rivals. They argued they were in a better position to form the government, that Tom was blocking their way, so they wanted him out of their way. So because of the premises that Jenga had been given, he decided to go for Tom's life. And because he was very close to him, he monitored him closely. Come 5th of July 69, Tom had just walked into a Chan's pharmacy. He had complained of a dry skin and a little bit of high blood pressure, so he had wanted to pick some medications. So as he walked out of the pharmacy, Jenga did not hesitate to shot him twice. Tom was rushed to the Nairobi hospital and unfortunately died upon arrival. So 1 week later, because of the protests and the demonstrations, Tom had to be buried as quick as possible for the normalcy to return. So within 6 days, everything was done. So on the 9th, the body was driven from Nairobi to Homa Bay St. Paul's Catholic. The body stayed over the night. Then on the 10th, the body driven from Homa Bay to Singa Home again stayed over the night. Then on the 11th, Tom was laid to rest here. So 2 years later, this was built. What we have inside are just a fraction of Tom's collections, the presents, gifts, awards, mementos that he was given in various places. A lot of them are not here just because the house could not accommodate everything. It's now when we are planning to put up a bigger building to supplement this so that we'll have all his collections gathered together. On the other side of the chain link is our family cemetery. But then there's the small grave here. Tom had a friend by the name William Shainman, a man he had met in UK during his college. Then they became very close friends. Shainman later organized for Tom's meeting with the committee that was in charge of Africa. That is the time he met the likes of Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Harry Belafonte, Jackie Robinson, and others. So later they came up with an organization, what they call the African American Student Airline Foundation, that saw a lot of Kenyans and Africans through scholarship into different universities and colleges. We celebrate the likes of Wangari Maathai, journalist Philip Ochieng, Kamoto, Saitoti, Kibaki, Onyonka, Adua Witi, and others benefited from that same project. Yeah. Tra, chukua picha upige mama. So maybe Jenga, who shot Tom, was later apprehended and presented before the court. But in Jenga's defense, he said he was sent by a big man, though he did not mention who the big man was. So as a family, we were made to understand that Jenga was sentenced to hang, but then the history remains there. It's not clear whether he was hanged or not, even though there has been a lot of speculation surrounding his whereabouts. But remember, Tom's case is still open, so it's very hard to speculate on what is still before the court. So we'll have to wait until the last judgment will be given. This is when maybe we can now speculate or talk about Tom's death. Yeah, so but later Tom's family moved because Tom died when he was still living in the Simba. Later, the Pamela, Tom's wife, was inherited by Tom's brother Alphonse. Then, because Tom was the firstborn of the family, going by the African culture, it reaches a time a man will normally have to move from his father's homestead to establish his own home. So Tom had bought a land at the mainland, a place called Lambwe, just on the way to Homa Bay, and that is where he had planned to have his home built. So later, through the stewardship of both Pamela and Alphonse, they managed to move the family to the mainland. So that is exactly where we buried Pamela in 2009. But before that, in 2004, we lost Tom's elder son, Peter, a brilliant commercial lawyer, who died on this spot motorbike accident. But we still have the likes of Maureen, a High Court judge, Tom Jr., a lawyer with Transparency International, Lucas, a lawyer with Ethics and Anti-Corruption. We have Jen, a nurse in UK, and Dr. Susan, the current global president of Coca-Cola, actually Kidero's wife. Yeah. So